Hello everyone, we are here with another Guess the Rank video. So we're heading over to the Observe tab, and we are filtering by 2 players, so 1v1s only. And we're going to find ourselves a game, and we're going to watch it and try and guess, based on the gameplay alone, what rank the players are. We'll scroll down a little bit because we want one that is a little bit of the way through, so that way if things are a bit boring, we can kind of fast forward through some of the slower parts. Before we start, I just want to say it's kind of crazy. The player King Zero from the previous Guess the Rank video actually watched and commented on the video. And so considering how small of a community we still are, that's pretty insane that happened. Definitely a crazy cosmic coincidence. But again, thank you, King Zero, for being such a good sport and letting us peer in on your game yesterday. But let's jump in here. A Cliffside. A Cliffside is speaking to me. So we have... Okay. Interesting. A Jeanne d'Arc versus Roos Cliffside. You know what? I think I'm locking in. I don't need to see anything else. We're going to go with Vorstag versus Falcom 87 on Cliffside. Let's see what we got. At some point, I do want to try this on stream and have it so that we're doing it live and there's like a gamba going so people in the chat can kind of guess, you know, is it bronze, silver, gold, platinum as the game goes on, and we'll do a big reveal at the end. But in the meantime, we got the YouTube video, so make sure you comment down below your guess and see what we can do. So far, I think that they're both Conqueror 3 players, and this is going to be a quick game. No, but seriously, what do we have in front of us? Well, we have in the purple as Jeanne d'Arc, Vorstag is playing, and then in the much less Roos-sounding name, Falcom 87 playing as the Roos in the green on Cliffside. Cliffside is normally a very aggressive map. You're spawning quite close together, and it is very easy to kind of hop over this little ridge right here and cause problems for your opponent. I will say that I do like Falcom 87's spawn better. Having this forward wood line means that there's some very simple and easy walls he can do with those Roos, more heavily fortified palisade walls, just to protect himself if need be. The question is, what are we going to be going up with here? Because so far the 2 hunting cabins, not on the same wood line, but on separate wood lines this time, which is fine, is definitely seeming to be like the kind of typical Roos fast castle with the horse archers build. Meanwhile, we have our lady, Jeanne d'Arc. Where is she? Is she out building the mining camp? She is. Jeanne d'Arc, the peasant for now, but she will become stronger and lead France to victory. We'll have to wait and see. We can speed things up a little bit here as the early game starts. We know that the Roos is going to be going with multiple scouts, you would think. If I'm looking down here on the minimap, though, we have 2. I'm not seeing a third one yet, but at least 2 scouts picking up a fair amount of sheep on the one and nothing on the other. Jeanne d'Arc kind of not doing so well, but is going to pick up a few more in this rotation. Interesting that it's only the 2 scouts, though. I do think the pro scouts on this map is a decent play. For the most part, you always have the deer over on this one side. You're going to have one safe pack. In this case, Roos's is a little bit closer towards the front of the Jeanne d'Arc base than what you would want. And then you always have kind of the other deer pack on the side. So you can always kind of spread them out. Sometimes when your deer packs are really close together, having just a couple of spearmen becomes very easy to defend that pro scout's play from the other opponent. So having them more spread out sometimes is easier to get those deer back to your base. All right, Golden Gate is going up. No surprises there. Pretty standard. 5 building as well. And then the School of Cavalry from Jeanne d'Arc. It's all making sense to me so far. These are pretty basic decisions. I don't know if I can make a call so far as to what level we're at. Does it give it away that this person has a diamond, whatever it's called, in the middle of their town center? Maybe. Maybe. They got to at least have some skill in order to have that. We got to pick up on all the possible clues that we can throughout the course of these matches. Okay, so 2 going up with this School of Cavalry means that Jeanne d'Arc is not going to immediately become the hero. We have professional scouts immediately queued up for the Roos player. And Jeanne d'Arc is close. I cannot wait for, at some point, a UI update where we are not going to have to swap back to the other one in order to see Jeanne d'Arc's level up total experience. But she's up, and she will be changing very shortly into something new. How's this knight doing? Is he going to find any damage? Front woodline could be a potential target. I don't really see where that knight has gone. It's here, fighting off some of the scouts. The Rus now sitting at 4 scouts, definitely going for that pro scout play. Is it the same for the Jeanne d'Arc player? Yes. So Vorstag and Falcom are both going for pro scouts, and it's going to be about who can get more from the other. Good idea to use the woman at arms to be kind of guarding this. Having them on patrol would have been better though, because these are just going to be able to swoop in. She is fast though. She's going to speedily catch up and swipe down. I think that guy's still going to live on the way home though. Also picking up some from the back. Very aggressive from the Rus player. Falcom trying to get these. This knight's going to come in and kill, but going to be really hard pressed to try and get that deer carcass back from this far, this close to Falcom's base. Okay. Some mis-microing with the scouts. A bit confused, but dealing with a lot of stuff at the same time. We have the 2 spears from the Rus player going to come in. Good reaction time. That tells me a decent amount of what I was looking to know about these 2 players here. Jeanne d'Arc comes in looking to grab some experience. Turn that knight around and fight. Ooh. Tries his best to do the classic charge to get them to brace and then pull back. Doesn't quite pull it off, but it was pretty close. Does Jeanne d'Arc have one of her holy wraths? Yes. Bring that knight back. Spin to win. That's pretty good. Needs to try and get the experience from these 2 for sure. The other knight is taking down this scout. Continuing to build scouts though, so not wanting to get too low on that count. Heals this, and then immediately goes for another spin! And that takes down 2 spears immediately, and now Jeanne d'Arc just needs to fight these 2. This scout is currently idle. We have a knight coming in for some raids on the gold vein, and oh my goodness, Vorstag is not paying attention. 2 villagers gold down as they're gathering gold on that side. But still, good foresight from Falcom to be doing some raids at this point. This is a good game. I'm glad we're watching one that's got some high quality. I was calling the diamond level last time, and it was only spoilers, plat. But this time these guys are seeming to be pretty skilled. There's a lot of different microwave happening on a bunch of different houses or different places. As I read the word high trade house, castle coming up for Falcom 87. And we know that that's likely going to be into a bunch of horse archers to deal with these Jeanne d'Arc knights. Jeanne picking up some good amount of experience off of all these spears though. There hasn't been like a big massive fight, but certainly picking up a decent amount. I am curious just to see what that experience is. Just under halfway still. But that is Castle Age. Good news is the Vorstag is pretty close as well in terms of the macro, very close to going up. And it is in fact going to be stable, and so it's going to be a knight spearman comp. The high trade house grabbing a ton of these trees right here. 125 gold per minute is pretty solid, I do have to say. And Jeanne d'Arc is able to secure the remainder of the deer pack behind. Jeanne, consecrating the buildings, chooses not to consecrate the town center before the archery range. When I play Jeanne, I tend to want to do stable first, town center next, because you are constantly producing out of that, and it does save you a little bit. Choosing not to go into the Royal Institute, but the Guild Hall instead. Not confident that they can end the game right here, right now, and instead choosing to do that. Jeanne begins capturing the sacred site. Such a cool ability that she's able to do that. I always forget to take advantage of that, if I'm being honest. Blacksmith is coming up for the first time here. A Wololo. Ooh, was pretty close actually to capturing those knights. And is able to use the 3 knights there to fend them off. This one knight is still alive. Quick, you gotta move this guy. Oh. Some mis-microing, and that one goes down for 24 additional experience on Jeanne's side. Guild Hall left to generate food, meaning that the Red Palace Imperial Rush could be coming. Something you might want to consider for Jeanne in this particular case is moving into men-at-arms. A lot of people kind of get trapped a little bit continuing along with the Royal Knights. Jeanne is a great infantry civilization, and especially in this case, when you're seeing a lot of spearmen and knights coming out, just a full men-at-arm mass could be a good counter to that. I know the Knights will obviously do additional damage against those Man-at-Arms, but I think you might be able to outmass, and especially with Jeanne there to provide the healing to those guys, it could be a good play. 2 Sacred Sites now captured. 1 relic in the building for our Roost player Falcom. 2 relics on the way, I think, coming back for Jeanne d'Arc. I can't quite see on the minimap where those are coming, but what am I saying? That 2 right there is not indicative of relics. That is actually the Sacred Sites that have been captured. So no relics, in fact, for Jeanne so far. Coming in with the Arbalétrier, but Jeanne is absolutely going to go down at this point, trying their best to guard this relic, but the Knight is just too much. Jeanne immediately returns. Zombie Jeanne. You can't keep her down unless she dies in a very short period of time. Does manage to pick up 1 relic, but I think it is going to be 1 to 4, meaning Falcom is definitely going to be favored on that front. And with the additional economy coming from the high trade houses and the hunting cabins and a second TC coming up, really putting our Roost player in the driver's seat for this one. And I think Jeanne must do something soon or will risk being overrun in a short period of time. Jeanne has leveled up. Very nice. And she has used her 2 arms men for the 3 Man-at-Arms, Jeanne's champions on the field. I do think that moving into a bit of Man-at-Arms play might have been a good choice, but in the meantime, it's all about the military academy. Definitely want to get Ordnance Company as soon as you can for Jeanne to give her that extra HP and health. And here's what I was saying. The fortified palisades, I called it at the beginning of the game. Having this at the front is just going to help to buy space. A couple of spearmen going down. Picking them off is good. But I don't know if you want to take this fight. That's a lot of spearmen. Jeanne getting targeted down. Immediately comes back. Has to run away. But this fight, I just don't think it's... I mean, she is taking a lot of damage. Does go down. And at this point, it's double the army for Falcom 87. He didn't even have these guys over there. Manages to capture a Sacred Site for himself. Sacred Site and Sacred Site here. Really would be easy to decap these, just sending a quick horseman across, but currently focused, the Roost player, on kind of building up to the next strategy. So we have the complement of all 3. Archery ranges, barracks, and stables. Kind of like a knight, horseman, crossbow, man-at-arms, spear blob that's going to be coming towards Vorstag's base. Able to get this far gold. There haven't been a lot of raids, I'll say. There was a lot of multitasking to begin with at the start of the game, but since then it's kind of been much more of a all in the middle, all battling each other over this ridge. The classic wooden fortress with the sprinkled emplacement. Very oppressive. Just a little bit more walls just to make sure they can't sneak in on that front is a good idea. Jeanne has returned. And that was really quick. Oh, is the scout. Just taking a look. Continuing to wall up. Ooh, these knights are going to be coming in for a decent raid, though. As the whole army sits in the base, these knights are going to be coming in. This is a decently high-level game. I'm inclined to think that this is like mid to high diamond, could be low conqueror. I think low conqueror might be a bit high, but these guys are playing pretty well. Okay. These knights are in good shape on the blacksmith here. Still no Boyar's Fortitude, which I think... Yeah, I mean, he's not a full knight composition or a full horse archer composition, so maybe not the most important. But, yeah, unfortunately this raid really just ending up feeding a lot of experience to Jeanne d'Arc. A couple of knights here. 6 villager kills to 2, but that double town center is really starting to pay off for Falcom 87. And the fact that Vorstag has not chosen to go into this at all. Moving to the Red Palace, though, I think that the guild hall has been pulled because that amount of resources comes pretty much out of nowhere. Red Palace on the middle sacred site, and now the whole map is kind of walled off. This could be an interesting one. Is Falcom going to see this? I don't think so. His scout has been killed on the backside here. He's not going to see this going up, and once this goes up and Jeanne d'Arc is an Imperial Age, this is going to be such an oppressive defensive position. You can't push into it unless you have the siege to deal with it. There's no siege workshops whatsoever in this base so far. A lot of floating gold. Could transition some of that over to food. I can see the farm transition is taking place. Jeanne d'Arc also a little bit of a farm transition. But yeah, at this point now, Falcom is missing a bit of his window here. I feel like if he was pushing in here with this military lead, stopping this, but not having the vision, even just a tower on the outside of this wall to kind of catch the vision of that would have been so useful. This Springle Tower just poking away and causing a lot of anxiety for our Jeanne player here. You know, very easy to push around that and go straight for this gold, but, you know, that single poke, and all of a sudden you kind of feel, oh, I'm taking damage, I gotta run away. So, definitely could have been a much higher quality raid there. Jeanne sitting with 3 consecrate abilities as well. Mostly just because there's no military production buildings to consecrate. I think you definitely want to have more production, because if this army has any problems and gets wiped for any reason, you are not going to be able to remass fast enough. Just another spike. I don't know if our Jeanne player even knows that this second town center exists. I don't think that they do, and so I think that's going to really light a fire under them as soon as that becomes apparent. Still a ton of gold, full upgrades on the Rus player, and 4 relics, 1 sacred site. This is the thing. You're coming around the side, which is fine, but this red palace is going to absolutely be decimating these units. They're going to die immediately. Done, done, done. And that is a lot of experience going over to Jeanne. And not a lot of range damage. Oh, she's stuck! Jeanne is stuck in the front! The Wololo happens. Jeanne d'Arc goes down. A couple of units on the front side here. Some Arbalétriers actually get caught in the Wololo. It's definitely favoring the Rus, but this, as I said, the defensive landmark is absolutely going to be doing massive damage. I think you throw all these Arbalétriers in here, like at least getting some villagers in, and look, dead, 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 dead. It's happening like this. And we are currently caught up to live as well, so this is the most recent information we can possibly see. Sitting under this is absolutely not going to be a good idea. You're doing a little bit of damage, sure, but lost a ton. Could have been a much better fight, and at this point I'm expecting to see not a keep, but some siege workshops coming up. Stable, stable, stable. Not moving into siege here. That is surprising to me. The boar is next. Ooh, I think actually this was a misclick. Has not built the hunting cabin beside the boar and is doing the long distance mining. High armory is going up, which means that there will be some siege workshops showing up. Wasting a bit of the space with the stables up here, but it's fine. You don't need a full complement of buffed up siege workshops here. I'm expecting cannons. Cannons really quick. That would be the best play, I think. Only 7 going up, so not in any hurry. I wonder if they know that they're in such an economic lead with 30 villagers. If we're looking at the income, 3,200 to like 1,800. So it's getting to the point, it's like almost kind of double. And having everything except for lumber, lumber preservation. Is that what the next one is? Yeah. Everything except for lumber preservation in terms of the upgrades is also contributing to the fact that Falcom 87 is just in a much more commanding economic lead. The score is even reflecting that we know not to take the score with anything more than a grain of salt, but it is sometimes a bit of an indicator, especially considering our Jeanne d'Arc player Vorstag has been in Imperial Age for a while now. Crossbow stirrups, attack speed of Arbalétriers, which are a fantastic unit no matter what Falcom is going to be building. Interesting. Imperial Age. And we shall see. I'm expecting immediate... there's not enough wood. We have so much gold, not enough wood. There is a marketplace that could potentially be used to buy some wood to get that going. Still long distance mining this boar. These villagers getting a workout. Absolutely in shape after all this long distance hoofing it. There we go. Additional production buildings finally coming in. Jeanne, I'm expecting, is going to consecrate those. At this point, it's had 4 out of 4, I'm telling you, for a significant period of time. So it's absolutely missing out on what is honestly one of the strongest parts of this civilization, which is the discount on the military. If you're not taking advantage of this, then you're just French with extra steps. And it's not as good, not even close. Elite Royal Knights. No university, I don't think, at this point. Never mind, it's here. Royal Bloodlines would be absolutely key, and you have the resources for it, especially if you're looking to do some raids on this side. Swinging around to all of these villagers here. Okay, what are the guesses so far? What are you thinking in terms of skill level? I think I'm not seeing anything that is too remarkably insane in terms of micro, in terms of macro. Finally fixes the hunting cabin. There's been some small mistakes here and there. So again, I'm thinking high diamond. I think this is like a diamond 2, diamond 3 area. Not quite confident. I'm not calling that as my final guess, but that's where we're at now. Let's double check Jeanne. How's she doing? Wrong button. Jeanne still has a significant amount of experience in order to get up to the next level. Still halfway away from level 4, which is where she becomes extremely impressive with the cannon. So, not even close, baby, on that front. Raid coming around the side for the Roost player. Some good defensive castles protecting some of these pocket resources. The amount of gold on the map is slowly running out, though. Falcom 87 not now producing out of the second town center anymore, just the main town center. I feel like that might be a bit of an error. Could be looking for a few more villagers. I feel like the pros talk about wanting to get up to like 140, 150 villagers. I think I certainly can't spend those resources fast enough or use my army effectively enough for that to be worthwhile on my end. So getting up to 120, 130 is usually pretty good. Jeanne now approaching a sacred site victory. Massive army coming over here, splits off some knights to go for a raid around the back is a very smart idea. A single mangonel. Where are the big siege units to take down this red palace? 1 trebuchet and a dream at this point in time. I mean, maybe. Okay, so we're able to find out about the knights swooping around the back. Still, going to be doing some damage and racking up those villager kills and also just causing some problems in general. The Sacred Site victory condition was extremely short-lived. We will not be seeing that again today, likely. But definitely worthwhile. These knights, still no royal bloodlines, very shortly going to be coming or completing. The knights, they're running away! That's a misplay on the hotkey. As more villagers go down, 28 villager kills seemingly out of nowhere with just this small night raid. And nothing is going on, he's running away. Now a trebuchet comes out, that is a very easy pop for the knights there. 3, 2, 1, goodbye, sir. Okay. Definitely a misplay for the Roost player, who had such a commanding economic lead, and it has fallen apart, fallen to shreds. 5 idle villagers, only ahead by 6. The Red Palace, not upgraded in any way, no boiling oil. Is continuing to take damage, but here come the villager pull to make sure this 1 trebuchet in a dream doesn't succeed. Oh my gosh, these knights are still going. These knights have single-handedly evened out the game, and they're still not dying. Now that they have royal bloodlines, you're not going to be able to kill these with 5 horse units. You need like dedicated counters to deal with this. Silk bowstrings for increased archer range. Nobody on these farms. So much extra food and gold. 192 out of 200 pop. Definitely going to be wanting to get as many of the upgrades as you can. How's the, nothing. No fine-tuned guns. No wandering town. No siege crew training for that one mangonel either. Choosing to have all of his army sitting stationary and idle over here is such a bizarre choice. Just a small drain on the economy of Jeanne d'Arc here. And these knights are the heroes of the game. They are still going. They are still killing villagers. I don't understand. 42 villagers killed almost single-handedly. I think this was 6. So he killed 36 villagers with 4 knights. Unbelievable. Big attack around the side, though. This is where the fight is coming. Don't want to fight under this red palace. Making the correct decision to come around the side. The question is, who wins in this battle? The problem is that your reinforcements are nowhere to be found on this side. Some return raids around the back side with 4 horsemen is not going to be as strong. Shooting directly at Jeanne d'Arc, who is not going to heal, is immediately going to go down and not get any of this experience, is a big deal. Lots of elite crossbowmen to deal with the man-at-arms. These arbaletiers are absolutely going to be causing problems down. I would be dropping the deploy pavis right now, doing as much damage from a stationary position as you can. 2 trebuchets now, wailing on this red palace. It was an okay fight, but that is a lot left. Some additional raids coming around the side. The Streltsy are now. And perhaps that was part of the play, was that it was time to recomp the army. May as well throw them out for some damage and try our best to do something else. Villagers moving across to go where? Choosing to build a lumber camp on this far wood line to avoid the raids on this side. Huge amounts of production coming up around the side on that front. Jeanne d'Arc has returned to the battlefield. We have a cannon. We have 2 mangonels for Jeanne d'Arc as well. These Streltsy are really just going to be tossed away. I think that Falcom had such a good opportunity earlier on with that eco lead just to push through and cause problems, but giving Jeanne d'Arc the time that they need to really build up. Has Jeanne d'Arc been using the consecrate abilities, though? Still sitting at 4-4, has completely forgotten. That is a massive disadvantage. And now a ton of knights getting caught! That is going to be a ton of experience flying over to Jeanne d'Arc, and very soon we're going to be dealing with level 4. Streltsy also 18 experience. 2 mangoes do live. 2 cannons firing down on this keep. It is not going to last long at all. Jeanne d'Arc also being buffed up by the royal bloodlines. And I think Jeanne might have the ability to do this. With this siege, which is so much more effective than these trebuchets, I'm so surprised did not want to go for cannons in this case, or bombards. You have fine-tuned guns. Increased damage of bombards by 20%, and increased damage versus infantry, which includes the arbaletiers. I think it would have been a no-brainer to do some massive damage there. But now we're going to be fighting on a bunch of different fronts. Jeanne d'Arc with the villager lead as well. We've got ourselves an Imperial Age barn burner at this point. This cannon is absolutely toast. This cannon is going to live. I called it from the very beginning. Manages to save the majority of the siege. The keep going up with the cannon emplacement. If you get both of these on here, then that cannon emplacement is not even going to be worthwhile. These villagers are in such a risky position. This is greedy. The red palace has been destroyed. The trebuchets finally come through. The knights choose to just say a hello and wander right on by. Could have been an amazing raid to equal out this absolutely destructive villager kill lead. Instead chooses to go in. Is going to get shredded by the arbaletier emplacement on the town center. The arbalest ranged right there. Does manage to make this keep go down. And we're just rotating. We're doing like a base trade at this point. These villagers are so lucky. Are you serious? How are they still alive? Okay. On this side, Jeanne is now level 4 blast cannon. You're gonna need so much to take her down now. She has used her heal ability. Spins to win pretty much nothing at that point. You want to get these mangonels firing on all these spearmen? Absolutely. Not currently happening though. As I told you, the Man-at-Arms Jeanne champion switch is just so effective against what Falcom is building. The knights are coming around the back to deal with these knights. I don't know. Both of them dealing with a significant amount of siege. That is a ton, but now Jeanne can just walk in here. These knights are going to walk in here and shred everything. The bombard is showing up, but it is too late. Taking a lot of damage, but is going to live, right? It is so hard to kill Jeanne when she's level 4. It is truly insane. So many villagers killed here. 73 villagers killed for our Jeanne d'Arc player. An absolute massacre of the economy. These knights have killed these knights. These horsemen are continuing to do some raids though. No textiles for Jeanne d'Arc. Do we have textiles here? We do, and even still 74 deaths. Now we have 4 cannons, 2 mangonels, and a bunch of armored units waltzing into the base. What can our Roost player do? I think desperately needs to mass Horseman Streltsy. And you need the Streltsy to deal with the armored units, and you need the Horsemen to be able to attack the Mangos and the cannons. And I think that is what you do. You abandon the Knight thing. Your Knights are not going to be... I mean, they are technically as good, if not better than Elite Royal Knights, based on having the pole axes upgrade, but you don't have the mass. You don't have Knights right now. It's too expensive. It's too late to go into. And here come the cannons. Town center down. The advantage on the eco side absolutely in favor of Jeanne with 30 more villagers at this point. 77 killed. The Man-at-Arms are starting to come in on multiple sides. These villagers are safe. These villagers managed to mine out the entire gold mine without being killed, which blows my mind. He walked right past the opportunity for like 30 villager kills right there. And with that said, Falcom87 says, it's enough. I can't do it anymore. And our winner is Jeanne d'Arc. Congratulations. But the real question is, who actually wins? Because the real premise of this game is, what rank are these players? So Vorstag, the Jeanne d'Arc player, takes the win. Congratulations. But what are they in terms of their rank? There was a good amount of execution in that game, particularly early. However, there was a lack of decisiveness later on. There was also a hesitancy. There was also an inability, especially on Falcom's side, to deal with the raids effectively. Just kind of be like, oh, my villagers will be fine. Oh, wait, 40 of them have died. So I'm going to say... I'm going to say that Falcom87 is Plat 3. And I'm going to say that Vorstag is Diamond 1. That might be a bit low. That might be a bit harsh. But the lack of consecrating on all of the production buildings from Jeanne, and the lack of response to the raids and not being able to capitalize on a 30 villager eco lead with a lot of floating resources, that's where I'm going to go. Falcom87 Platinum 3, Vorstag Diamond 1. That's my call. You make your call, and we'll find out on AoE4 World right now. We are here. We are ready to see. Okay, so first we'll do Falcom87. Let's see. Last second guess is in. Platinum 1. Once again, I'm guessing too high. Okay, I think he played particularly well, especially that early game. Getting that advantage, getting all of those deer from multiple sides, keeping that micro going, stopping Jeanne from getting too much experience early on. I thought it was good, but then that hesitancy, I should have maybe leaned a little bit more into that it was not strong enough. Okay, so I was wrong on that one, but Vorstag, I said Diamond 1, and it is Platinum 2. So I'm still guessing like 2 ranks too high at this point. Or sorry, I guess a full tier too high in this case. But Vorstag from Romania is our victor in this case. And maybe you guys in the chat are the victors in the Guess the Elo, because clearly I suck and I need some more practice. Platinum 2, well played. Definitely wants to consider trying to get those consecrates up and running more frequently and taking advantage of that, because the mass could have been even larger at that point. And also might want to consider adding in a second town center and castle. If at some point, you're not feeling like you can end the game, adding that second town center is just a good economical idea, so that way you don't end up getting overwhelmed. But who am I to say I'm bad at the game? But just my small 2 cents worth. Something I want to be working on at some point soon. We'll be doing more guess the ranks going forward, but I also want to do a tier list video for people whose skill level is more like low Conqueror, Diamond, Platinum. I know Beastie has pro player tier lists, Conqueror 7 level on lock, but what about us little guys? What about us who are doing our best to climb the ranks? So I'm going to be giving at least my 2 cents on what are the strongest civilizations right now in 1v1 and which ones are garbage and you should never play ever. But that's not now. For now, thank you so much for watching this video. Really appreciate it. If you can toss a subscribe or a like down there, would really appreciate that. It's still very small and early days for the channel, and every single bit counts in a big way. So thank you so much again for watching. Bye for now, and we'll catch you on the next one.